everyone, and welcome. I am Mr. Warren Hayes on behalf of Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Bell to Bells, collaborating today to bring you this interview that we have lined up. And of course, if we're combining our forces, PWI and Bell to Bells, it's only to bring you the best and the brightest. And of course, that automatically means we have to be talking to Hyan, who is with us today. How are you, Hyan? Good to see you.
That's like an amazing introduction. I'm really good. So nice to talk to you again.
Yes, it's nice to talk to you as well. We had a chance to speak last year with the top 100 women's list that you were there at number 71. And it's interesting because, we're a year later, right? And last year we were in the midst of COVID and we were chit-chatting and you were telling me last year, one of my goals is to go work in Europe.
Yeah.
And as we're recording this right now, at the onset of the month of August, you're in England right now.
I am. You got to manifest it.
Yeah, absolutely. You put it out there, and then a year later, there you are. But I mean, I gotta ask you, how did you do it? How did you physically? How was that process? How was the process to get overseas?
It's so crazy how it all happened. So I had just truly manifested it. I posted on Twitter, I want to wrestle in the UK. I want to wrestle in Europe. That was the tweet. And I didn't think anything of it. I just put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got DM'd by REV Pro being do you really want to go to Europe? And I was like, yeah, I 100% meant that. And they're like, cool. We're looking for girls. We think, you'd be a good fit. And they were like, we want to bring you in, but the COVID situation here is so unknown.
Sure.
It's not fully opened yet. So it's a yes, but just hold on. And I was like, okay. So I would go on maybe a month or so. I wouldn't hear anything. They'd message me back and they're like, yeah, we didn't forget about you. We just still getting the COVID stuff figured out. And it sucked because they kept getting their opening date pushed back and pushed
Sure.
back and pushed back. And it wasn't finally until the end of July that I was finally able to come over here. And I actually had to quarantine. Actually, today's my last day of quarantine.
I was going to ask, okay. Today's your last day of quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm free tomorrow. And I had to come in and 2 days prior do a COVID test and fill out all these forms. I got here, I had to do another COVID test. Several days later, do another COVID test. I just took my last COVID test a couple days ago. And so, yeah, it's been very crazy, having to go through all the regulations of going to another country during the pandemic.
It sounds like quite a process indeed. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And tests on top of tests. Yeah. It seems thorough though, but at least like you said, now quarantine is lifting, right? For you anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And it's so funny because if I would have come here on Monday, so today, I wouldn't have had to quarantine. They just cleared the US, took it off the amber list.
Oh.
But because it came a week ago, I had to quarantine.
You had to. Okay. All right. And this is your first time, right? In England.
Yeah.
It's your first time in Europe at all.
Yeah. In Europe ever. I've never been here on vacation or anything.
So you haven't done your appearances. Help me out here. Have you done your appearances for REV Pro yet, or?
I did.
Okay.
I did. My first show was this last Saturday. There was
Okay.
2 shows on Saturday and then one yesterday.
Can I ask you how that works if you're in quarantine though?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe there
You're
was.
asking good questions. I just don't have the answer.
They were like, "Oh no, it's cool. You can come in. Everything was fine." And
Yeah, I think it's because I actually took a test right before I left to do the show.
oh, okay.
And then the day of the show, it came back negative. So I think that's why I got the all clear.
Okay, so they were like, "Oh, it's fine. You got your test, so you were able to go regardless."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
UK
good.
government. I wasn't being sneaky.
Okay, there we go. So we're all clear. Everything's above board.
Yes.
We're not burying anyone here.
Correct.
Okay, so you did do your 2 appearances, right? Mariah May, who's
Yes.
who's 0-2 against you. That'll show her. That's fantastic. So we've already done 2 appearances there. And again, if I'm going back to when we were talking last year, you said that, you'd like to work for WXW in Germany. I know our friends over at Pro Wrestling Eve, they're starting their activities back up. They've got the Queendom show coming up in a couple of weeks now. Mm-hmm. Have you got anything else lined up for your European tour?
Yeah, so I'm actually debuting for this company called Purpose here in the UK. It's a newer company. It's starting up. I believe the show's August 13th.
Okay.
And I have been talking to Pro Wrestling Eve to get some dates, as well as some other ones. But I don't want to spoil anything because it's not official yet.
Okay.
But you guys will know.
Okay. Well, yeah, we wouldn't want to cause a situation where you couldn't get the dates then, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
But it's good to hear you're talking with the folks at Eve. That's fantastic too. I think it's a good and natural fit as well. Yeah,
of course. They're like the premier all women's company here.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely, and I'm excited that they're getting back into the swing of things too. Let's talk a little more about Rev Pro and what you're doing for them. You were in the Queen of the Ring tournament, mm-hmm. right? And it features some of the most active indie women stars out there, very and top notch as well. Giselle Shaw, Sky Snitson. We've also have Zoe Lucas there as well. Yeah. Which wrestlers in this tournament were you looking forward to face?
Well, I was obviously really excited to wrestle everybody because it was all going to be first time matchups, right?
Oh, no one there had never been anyone like on a tour of North America that you'd got to meet.
I knew Zoe from Shimmer, we've done shows together, but we've never had a wrestling match together.
Right.
That makes sense.
And you fought her in the finals, right?
I did. That was our first time together.
And she got the best of you because
she's a cheater.
Yeah, we don't like Zoe Lucas.
We don't.
But so all fresh matches. Was there anyone that you enjoyed wrestling, just out of the blue that you were like, yeah, this was a lot of fun?
Yeah, so I ended up doing 3 matches in one day, which is the most I've ever done. I was so beat up on Sunday, and my first round match was against Mariah May, and then my second round match was against Giselle Shaw, mm-hmm. and I would definitely say that's my favorite match of my career thus far.
Really?
Yeah, it definitely number one on my 2021 matches, and I would definitely put that up there as my favorite match of my career. As soon as it was done, I went up to the promoter. I was like, can I get the footage of this match? When can I get it?
This one goes on my reel, right? It's absolutely.
Automatically, this is the match that we sent to promoters.
Oh, well, Giselle is fantastic as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised that you guys were able to work something's that high level, I guess.
Yeah, no, she's amazing, and I feel like she doesn't get enough credit about how amazing she is. I knew she was great, being in the States, but obviously when you wrestle someone, it's you really get to see their talent, and she's incredibly, incredibly talented.
Let's say outside of Rev Pro, like you said, you're going on tour a little bit. Is there anyone out there on the European circuit that you'd like to face? Whether it's signed or not, that you're like, oh, this person here would be fantastic, kind of thing.
I would love to get in the ring with Chikara. She's very, very talented as well, and I was talking to her because she was in the Queen of the Ring tournament as well, mm-hmm. and I was like, oh yeah, I know you were on the PWI 500 list, and she was like, oh yeah, and we're just chit-chatting back and forth, and I would love to get into the ring with her as well.
Absolutely. Well, since we're talking about these PWI lists, again, you were on the women's list last year, so it can certainly be said that we can expect you to be back on that list this year. I mean, so. I think the Vegas odds are very good in your favor. But let's cover a bit of the ground that you've made since last year. First and foremost, you're still a Heart of Shimmer champion, right? How does it feel to be holding that title for so long at this point?
It is a dream come true honestly, because prior to being on Shimmer, my sole goal
Hmm.
was to get on Shimmer. And I like that was just the pinnacle for me. I never really thought about like, okay, I'm gonna get the title. I want to be on the flyers. Like I was just genuinely so happy to be there. And every time there was a Shimmer weekend coming, I was preparing. All of my best matches have been at Shimmer, and that company is just so has always been so important to me and has like a special place in my heart.
Hmm.
That being the Heart of Shimmer champion, like it is something that I take a lot of pride in,
Right.
and I want that title to be I want to elevate it as much as possible because it is like the newer title, right?
Sure.
Compared to like the OG Shimmer title. So I want to make it prestigious. I want to carry it well, and I want people to line up to try to get it from me. You know?
And you know we'll all be winners in that type of circumstance, of course. But yeah, no, that's great. And you also, well, I mean, on the flip side, you know, you've held the Sabotage World
Mm-hmm.
Championship like forever, right? Like it's,
Yes, forever.
but Delilah Doom got it off of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every all good things come to an end. But do you think maybe at some point circling back around to try and get your hands back on the title?
Of course. I think Sabotage was one of the very first companies outside of reality of wrestling to really get behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And they pushed me. They gave me so many amazing matches, so many incredible opponents. And that kind of comes with being the champion, you know? You have to get the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to be champion again because I want to keep getting the best of the best and proving why I deserve and have that spot.
You know, you mentioned reality of wrestling, and that, you know, there's more and more opportunities right now that are opening
Mm-hmm.
up for women's wrestling. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, you know, between MLW announcing their division,
Mm-hmm.
stuff happening in NWA. And you know, a lot of opportunities still opening up at Ring of Honor as well that you were able to take part of. How was appearing at on Ring of Honor's Women's Division Wednesdays for you? Can we expect to see you more there?
I don't know. I'll be back. I'll be here for in the UK for a while, so you might not see me on there for a while. But it was a lot of fun being there, especially because I got to do it with my best friends, like Lainey Luck, somebody that I
Mm-hmm.
would like trust her 1,000%, and Roxy, another one of my really, really good friends. So it was cool to be on that bigger platform and being able to share it with people that are so important to me too.
Well, I mean, you mentioned those, but you wrestled Max the Impaler, I
I
think
did.
twice, right? Um,
Um, yes,
Once in a
she was
tag
in the
team and once in a
tag.
singles, right?
Yes.
Um, I mean, that's got to be intimidating to wrestle them, right? I can't be wrong about that, right?
The Renaissance woman does not get intimidated.
There you go. I couldn't have come up. Perfect answer. Perfect answer. You even ended up winning the number one contendership for the Zello Pro title as well, which
I
you
did.
couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't go for. You had some other person fill in for you. I don't know. Name
So,
slips
yeah,
my mind.
I think it's Chelsea Green, I
I
think.
think, yeah, I think so. Up and comer, right? An
Yeah,
upstart.
yeah, that rookie.
Are there any titles that you have like your sights set on that you're like, hey, this is one I'd really like to compete for. I want to go for actively.
The AAW Women's Title.
Really?
That is one like I every year I make a set of goals for myself
Mm-hmm.
for wrestling, which ones I want to go after. And 2020, 2021, the AEW getting that title has been on that list for 2 years now.
And and
And
and it's Allison Kay who has it right now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
correct. And I also hold that title in very high regard because you look at the women that have held it, Jessica Havoc, Kimberly, Kylie Ray, Statlander, all these incredibly, incredibly talented women. That show is always, always stacked with amazing, amazing talent. So to be able to be one of the women to hold it. Um, I think it's very, very cool. And I got my title shot with Chris. I was not successful, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean I'm not going to go for it again, you know?
Sure, sure. No, yeah, well, yeah. I guess we can tell Allison. It's like, well, enjoy the title while you have it,
Yeah.
while you're overseas, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. She's getting like an easy pass as champion right now because like I'm not there.
I love this attitude. It's working for me. We got we're getting some challenges set out here. And then even just before you left in June, you popped up on AEW Dark.
I
You wrestled
did.
Abaddon. How was it to wrestle on? Like, I know you've had WWE tryouts before and so on and so forth. How different was AEW to any other television taping experience you've had?
I feel like if you go backstage at WWE, there's almost kind of this sense of like pressure, I guess, because you feel like you have to be on your like best behavior. You know, you're like, I just
Hmm.
want to stay out of the way. I'm just happy to be here, type of thing, whatever. And over there, it's a lot more, I guess, warm
Okay.
because it's like you don't have that cold feeling because it's like Statlander, I just wrestled you 2 weeks ago. How you doing? You
Right,
know,
right, right.
Ricky, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a little bit. You know, one of my best buddies. So it's a different kind of environment for sure, but it's a lot of fun because I've never wrestled Abaddon before, and it was cool because I got to do a match, and then Dustin got to see it. So it helps with networking and getting more
Sure.
people to see what you can do.
Sure, absolutely. It's and I don't think, well, I think a lot of fans don't realize how important that component is
Mm-hmm.
to pro wrestling and getting into the, moving up, getting into the good shows, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel you're pretty good at it?
I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
I think
It
so
also
too.
helps too because AEW Dark, like it's available to the UK fans. So now the UK fans had an opportunity to see me maybe in a different place. Maybe they haven't seen me at Shimmer. Maybe they haven't seen me at REV.
Sure.
But if they watch AEW and follow AEW Dark, well, they go, "Hey, I've seen that girl before. She's not a complete stranger to me. So that definitely
Absolutely.
helps too.
Yeah, it
And think
absolutely
of
does.
these things. It's all
um,
strategic.
what's that?
As it's all strategic.
It's all straight. Exactly, exactly. You're playing. I'm playing checkers. You're playing chess. Let's be honest. That's the thing. Hyan, it's always a great time to talk to you. Talk with you, not to you. I don't talk to you. We chat. But before we wrap it up, you're going to be spending. How much time are you spending in the UK?
2 months. So my last show is actually on my birthday on
Oh,
September 19th, and it's going to be in the big York Hall venue in London that holds like 1,500 people. So that's going to be my last show here. So I'm super, super excited.
oh, that'll be great. And do you have some stuff lined up for when you come back to North America? Then.
I do. I know Shimmer is planning to run on for their fall show.
Mm-hmm.
So you can expect that date to be announced soon.
Oh,
And I
fun.
do have some show with Reality of Wrestling again, as well as AAW. But I will be honest, I am kind of like limiting how many shows I'm taking because I am getting married in November. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. So I still have to like go back and then start like wedding planning, like insane amount, get my wedding dress fitted. So I've had some companies be like, "Hey, we want to use you." I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I have to get ready for this speedball wedding that I have to do when I get back."
I have to go taste wedding cake. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, sorry. I gotta spend time with my fiance. I haven't seen him in 2 months.
Yeah, on top of that, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Well, congratulations. Then that'll definitely be your highlight of the fall right there, regardless of
Yes, of course.
regardless of everything else. Well, it's fantastic. Before we wrap it up, just let everyone know where they can find you, where they can buy your merch. Just
Yes.
drop everything you can, and of course, all these links will be available in the description of this video as well.
My merch store with What a Maneuver is in my bio and my Instagram page, which is at the Hyan, so TheHyan on Instagram. My pinned tweet as well on Twitter, which is at _the Hyan. I will be here at REV Pro. Check their Twitter page. We do have our own streaming service, so make sure and watch all my matches, and definitely watch my match with Giselle because it is one of my like absolute favorites.
Well, hi, we're definitely going to check it out. You and Giselle are two wrestlers that we really like. Thank you so much, Hyan. Hyan, this entire interview has been holding her telephone, her phone at with her arms fully extended, and she hasn't collapsed yet. This is the difference between a pro athlete and myself. I'd be like this at this point, sweating.
I just have a sick bicep vein going on right now. You just can't see it.
Thank you so much, Hyan, for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and hope you have a great European tour.
Thank you so much. You have such a great day.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining us here, whether it's on PWI's YouTube channel or Bell to Bells. Subscribe, like, you guys know the drill. I'm Mr. Warren Hayes. We'll see you next time.